Their composition makes more sense to me. Weibo, they have one big bit of engage with the Nico. Outside of that, it's individual plays, really. Individual play.
Hasn't gone towards bot lane to pick up that wave. So he's just here and keeping an eye on things. Actually, might be looking at a potential dive with that needlework. Bin needs to be wary here. We'll get level 6 off another minion, I think. So this has to be done pretty fast, or we're going to see the level 6 come on through, and the equalizer will allow for some serious turnaround pain. Clears the wave, but will die doing it. The barrier comes on through and keeps Light alive. Clutch barrier. Nice.
But they have to at this point. You can't enter the side of the map now that the Kalista and Arthur have managed to start rolling on Bin. Doesn't have an ultimate to wave clear. There's going to be a wave hitting tower. They don't have a teleport to do this. Bin is just looking to get some XP. Yeah, it's going to be a dead rumble. Not much else they can do about that.
And Breathe will be donated it, I think. Nico trying to pick it up with the Blooming Burst. The kill still secured nonetheless. All the while, though, just elking on just to continue to attack this turret.
Going for the tower rush. 4 people on top side. Grub's definitely helping out, and the tower debuff going to be off there. BLG trading sides of the map. It's not a lane swap, but it's about the closest thing you can get to it.
Poor old Bin is the one who suffers for it. We'll note again that Light is still roughly even with Elk, which is kind of crazy despite everything. So on this reset can theoretically look to either go mid and now allow Xiaohu to play out those side lanes from this perspective, or potentially match up against this Kalista again, because you can see in the goal totals, Light and Elk pretty evenly.
Says Ocean Sword would be true. I clearly do too. I'm not a responsible member of society,
but we're now in a pretty phenomenal position, all things said and done. Out from Xiao, and that wall to block off is beautiful. Flashing from Wei, slow from the equalizer. Tien throws down the Crescent Guard, the heal comes on through the hostile takeover. Sends them all berserk. And in come BLG. I asked them to pull the trigger, and they headshot the mid jungle of Weibo Gaming. I honestly thought Xiaohu had pulled a miracle out of a hat there with a very, very astute Weaver's Wall. But BLG can keep diving further. Light gets a bit of a chunky mid, but that is it. 2 great kills onto Elk on the Kalista. They head on to their tier 2, and they are so good at converting kills into map pressure. BLG at their finest right now. Knight in potential danger, weirding away from the Pop Blossom. Nice angle there from Knight while he was invisible from going across the veil. Really good game, and I don't even think Xiaohu's necessarily played poorly. I think he's just been with his team quite a lot, and Knight has still managed to get involved and get a lot of individual value. That's pretty good stuff. Now, BLG just knows where they're at any given time. Better that too, I agree. Good jungle tracking, good prep, I agree. It's good read of what Weibo Gaming wants to be done, and I'll give some concurrence to that wonderful equalizer. Tien still running down it. The Crescent Guard buys some time, stops him from burning down too much. But between worlds goes Knight! Just about survives. But wait, the bailout comes on through. Tien doesn't fall. They've gone too far. Bin now in danger. The curtain's called. Light looking for the final shot. Can't quite do it. They lose Hung, but Knight is a big trade. Elk's now in danger. Went to the lane. And a handshake on Breathe will knock him alive. Now Light looking for something. And suddenly Weibo Gaming punished really hard. What looked like a really good engage from Knight and Bin after those equalizers between worlds. Found a great angle. End up punished in short order. We said BLG was squishy. Oh, yes, they are. Breathe, though, still very healthy. Gets a decent snip, but on being around, flashes on forwards. A 2v1 with a bailout is not what you win. And Knight, sorry, Bin says, I'll have that. Ironically, it's On who picks it up, but I think a final auto. We hold our nerves. Done it again. I got distracted. Tien's in danger. Oh, my God. Knight just blows him up. They got the Hextech Dragon, but they can look for a bit more. Bin now in danger, and suddenly what looked really good for Weibo Gaming after Bin and On punish one side. Knight comes back in with a teleport. All right back in BLG's favors. Weibo Gaming just can't claim a clean win. Equalizer. Oh my God, Bin's just running at this Nico. He's dead. Can't shit. I am glad to see that Weibo Gaming aren't rolling over and dying. I'm glad to see we've seen some pretty creative moves. However, BLG right now, when we asked them to start stepping up in the mid game, have done so. Light has survived. The hostile takeover hits everyone but Light, though. And Wei ends up going a bit deep. Trigger pulled, and the punish is good. Weibo Gaming not going quietly into the Knight, that is for sure. Knight eats a lot of damage. The needlework finally burned out. Herald has been taken and is now going to be used in the mid lane, where BLG having overplayed for that tier 1 mid. able to return the favor by getting a kill in the tier 1 of their own, and actually get a second charge with the 6 grubs. They've got an absolute murder of mites to go on forward. That infestation looks grim as hell. Look, greedy-ass gameplay. There's a little bit of that. There's been a lot of people trying to get as much as they can from the small windows they're seeing, and the other team being good enough to say, that's way too far. Everyone was fighting over these dragons. Weibo did get the dragon, and stopped Soul Point. Weibo on dragon again. Would love the second Hextech Dragon bin. Looking to find an angle to come on over. Everyone's available. Couple decent control wards splitting the pit kind of in half there. Comes the Weaver's Wall. Should mean there's no real way onto the dragon. Bree steps on forwards, and BLG don't feel comfortable enough to step up and contest, and a nice Weaver's Wall denies the easy contest. 2 dragons for Weibo Gaming. As I kind of said before, I think I favor their scaling. I don't think it's quite as easy as that. Everyone's squishy enough that the Aurora, the Rumble, always going to have targets aplenty to blow up. The tier 2 now under siege, and BLG have been very good for wave control and the shoves onto these tier 2 structures. And despite having the 6 grubs, I haven't seen the same level of threat from Weibo. Despite having champions like the Gwen, also very pleased about getting a lot of casts off. And attack speed on Gwen, oh my god. Say less. Atakan picked up with no contest from BLG. Well, Bobby, you kind of just cry and die. So you've kind of have got pseudo frontline in a very conditional sense. In the way that Lissandra used to do it with her ult and Zhonya's. Hang on, Weibo find a really good angle, but it's largely onto On, who gets pulled back with the Fate's Call. Curtain Call comes on through though, and oh my god! Gwen does a lot of damage. The turnaround though is pretty solid here, but it's not enough, and Light gets a double. They picked off the mid and bot lane. They don't kill Hung. They can turn on to Baron. And that pseudo frontline I was talking about proves way, way, way too scary, especially with how much damn damage it does. Knight and Elk, all the while, look where Breathe and Tien come in from. They absolutely corral. Turning point. If it wasn't then, I think it is now. 3 Hextech Dragons. Ruinous Atacon. 6 Grubs. Baron, a Partridge, and a fucking Pear Tree. They are on real strong. Pop Blossom comes on through as a defensive measure, and Wei dies. Flash for the hostile takeover is good, but it only kills off the Nico, who isn't all that valuable at this point in the game. Bree teleports to the backline, but it's split well apart. Knight gets bailed out. It's not enough. TM flashes on forward, so the Wind becomes lightning, looking for the 3 talent strike, and Breathe cleans up the rest. The handshake is absolutely unaccepted as Breathe has a firmer one. Weibo Gaming will take BLG down, will match them in game score. Look to try and contest for first place in the group here in the LPL in this group. A fantastic mid-game. Scaling comes into fruition, and BLG's unwillingness to contest properly